the Hezbollah started shooting at Matula. Another house got ruined, another house. Today, 45% of the homes in Matula are ruined, including my neighbor who got a missile, right? And I have no idea. Last time I was in my home was 9 months ago. And since then, they said it's too dangerous to go because my house is right on the border.
Welcome, everyone, to Ordinary People with Extraordinary Stories. I'm Chana Weisberg, host of this podcast. Joining me today, we have Brachalea Sosonkin, all the way originally from Matula, well, not originally, but living for the last little while before October 7th in Matula, Israel. I thought it would be interesting to hear from different people who we've interviewed in the past what the situation is like for them now, how they've updated the situation. The situation is so volatile that even by the time that you are listening to this, it might have changed. But for now, we wanted to hear from Brachalea about her situation. The last time that we interviewed you, Brachalea, you were in Matula, which is right near the border of Lebanon.
It's on the border with Lebanon, not near.
It's on the
On the
border.
border with
On
Lebanon.
the border of Lebanon.
Yes.
And the last time that we interviewed you, it was before, the whole situation erupted in the north. You were still in your home. You were still there in your home. Can you tell us what has happened since then?
Well, I think the last interview was a day before they told us to evacuate.
Wow.
So, yeah. So we chose to stay home. A lot of our neighbors left even the same day, the 7th of October, when they heard what happened and for fear of what could happen on the north. So a lot of our neighbors and a lot of the residents of Matula left already Shabbos, Sunday, and we decided to leave. We had what to do. We went on Miftzayim, we put on tefillin to the soldiers, and we went to the elderly to see if they're okay, to see that we prepared also meals for the soldiers that were coming and filling up the town, and going into Lebanon and coming back at crazy hours. And we, together with the shluchim in Kiryat Shmona, we prepared meals for them. And I remember my children preparing little signs. Thank you so much. Keep safe. Thank you for what you're doing for us, and all kinds of messages with
for the soldiers.
Of the soldiers, yes. But on Tuesday evening, we were sitting in the house, and we didn't go out too much, except for going to put on tefillin and bringing food to the soldiers. They told us not to go around too much. And on Tuesday evening,
this is what month? This is
the few days after the 7th of October. Shabbos was the 7th of October, okay. So the 10th of October, 11th of October.
Wow, yeah.
So they called us up from the war room. In Hebrew, it says Hamal. It's called Hamal, the war room in Matula, which was with the mayor of Matula and the army people. And they called us up and they said, please pack up. You try to do it in half an hour. Pack up whatever you need and get out of Matula. It's starting to be very dangerous. Later, we understood that they saw all kinds of people getting close to the border, and and they didn't know what they would. We heard what they did in the south, and they were afraid.
They're afraid the same thing would happen again in the north.
Yes,
like
Matula
October 7th.
Yes, Matula is surrounded at three sides with Lebanon, and just the south is connected to Eretz Israel. So they were scared, and so in half an hour, I even had my brother by me for Sukkot, and he was by us. So we told them, pack up quickly your things, and I had my two younger daughters. My son was by the Rebbe, for Tishrei, and we just packed up, and your mind runs. What am I packing for? How much do I pack? What do I take? So we just threw in
Wow.
a few suitcases and bags, whatever we thought that we would need. I called up my mother-in-law. My husband's mother lives in Moshav Avital, which is an hour and a half drive away south from Matula. And I told her, can we come? She told us to get out, and then, she's my closest family, so we just came. We asked her if we can come. She said, of course. And we packed up both our cars, and it was very an emotional drive, because on the way to Moshav Avital, there's a lot of army bases, and we saw near the army bases on the highway was like one big parking lot.
Mm.
The miluim, how do you say, the
Reservist?
reservists just came with a car and went to their, each one to their army base. And from
Mm.
there, they came or to the south or to the north or to wherever they were needed. And it was so emotional, and we saw trucks with tanks coming towards the north, and soldiers driving and walking to the bases. It was like Am Yisrael Chai. We saw it with
Mm.
our own eyes.
What do you mean by that? Like, what did you see? Like, what did you feel?
It's not a secret that right before the 7th of October, there was a lot of um, going on, against the government, and
Mm.
a lot of people talking that we're not going to, if they're going to call us, we're not going to come to the army, and all kinds of such talks. And when the 7th of October happened, everyone just came,
Mm.
and even
So you just
people,
felt the unity, the tremendous unity.
yes, yes, it was really, really powerful. And we came to my mother-in-law, and whenever people ask me, where are you, evacuated to, I say to my mother-in-law, she says, oh, it's so hard, it must be so hard. And but Baruch Hashem, I'm very lucky. When I came into my mother-in-law's house, she said, this is your house and I'm your guest. and
Wow.
and it's really, really special, because I see all the other people, most of the people from Matula, all were put up in hotels in Tiberias. In a lot of hotels, all the Matula people, each family got a room, and
Mm.
uh, we are shluchim in Matula. So as soon as we got, organized in my new home, so we traveled to Tveria to go to our community, to visit all the families in the hotels. And going back to my packing, one of the things that I packed, and while throwing in all the things that I thought I needed, was all the arts and crafts and all the things that I was planning. I have, it's called Moadona Masima Tovim, the Club of Good Deeds, it's
Mm.
called. And it's a Jewish club for children that I was supposed to start that week
Wow.
in Matula.
Mm.
So I took also all the activity stuff, and arts and crafts, and everything that I thought I would need. So that I took. So twice, 3 times a week, we traveled from where we are in Moshav Avital to Tveria, which is an hour drive, to visit all the community members. So I'm lucky that by my shviger, by my mother-in-law, because I see the people that were in the hotels. It's very, very hard.
Mm.
Each
I'm
family,
sure.
doesn't matter how many children in the family, they're all in one room, and everyone together with everyone, and everyone is like, not, they're not in their home, and there's a lot of um, questions in the air, and what's going to be, and it's very hard.
Mm.
It was very hard to see. and people that might not get along with each other, all stuck together,
Sure.
24 hours a day, children
Mm.
running here, running there, mothers looking, where's my kid, calling the kids, where are you, and the kid, no, it's not a normal situation.
No structure, no routine. Is there
Yeah.
schooling for the children?
So after a while, after a few weeks, they organize themselves. One of the hotels is near a college. So the college gave a few rooms, and
Mhm.
the Matula school, which is called the Hanadiv school, got organized, and they took all the teachers, whoever, they organized. It took a few weeks, and they organized themselves, and for the whole year they had a school. Now this was at
Wow.
the beginning. Uh, and
So let me just get clear. From October, from October, everyone's out of Matula. You're out of Matula and all
yes,
the other families.
it's a
Wow.
closed army zone. It's closed. You're not allowed to be there. It's dangerous to be there.
Mhm.
Now, a few weeks after we left, no, a few days after we left, the Hezbollah started shooting at Metula. Another
Mhm.
house got ruined, another house, another house. Today, 45% of the homes in Metula are ruined,
Wow.
including my neighbor who got a missile right. And I have no idea. Last time I was in my home was um, 9 months ago. And since then, they
Wow.
said it's too dangerous to go because my house is right on the border. And
Mm.
it's also snipers. They say snipers also
Mhm.
shoot. And if they see someone moving, they just shoot. And it's too dangerous. About
It-
a month and a half ago, the squad, I say it's called Kitata Konenut. There's a squad of reservists from Metula that know all
mm,
the Metula, the streets and everything, and whoever wants to come see the house or take things, so they help and go with the families,
they accompany them. Wow.
accompany them. Yes. So a month and a half ago, they shot at two of these reservists, and one was very badly wounded. And since then, people don't go to our shchuna, to our
Neighborhood.
neighborhood,
Neighborhood.
because it's too
Mhm.
dangerous.
So
So
no one can come. So if you need anything, you just have to just do without.
yeah, yeah,
Right.
or just go out, buy whatever I
Mhm.
need. So I don't really know what the situation of my house is. They asked me, how's your house doing? I have no idea, because there
Mhm.
might be some damage because my neighbor got a missile, and so, but so we're okay. We're alive. Whenever they ask me, how are you doing? So
Wow.
we're alive. Baruch Hashem. We're alive. Thank
Alive.
God. Yeah.
it
So
it so much of the situation has been focused on like Gaza and of understandably, and what's going on with the war there, and it's almost like we people don't even realize that all these people from the north have been evacuated for 9 months straight, and the difficulties that you're going through.
11 months.
11 months, wow. 11 months
Yes.
straight,
Yes.
unbelievable.
Yes. Yes.
And what kind of challenges do you see that you're facing in your being away from your home?
Well, first of all, it's not easy. And I somehow, my husband and I somehow were able just to put the house on the back, on the side, not to think
Right.
about it, and thank Hashem, and choose to thank Hashem for all the good things, that we're in a good place. We see the people in the hotel. It's so not easy, and we're in by family, and I'm really getting along very well with my mother-in-law, and she
Can
told
I
me
can I can I ask how many you are
how
that
many
moved in?
people.
Yeah.
Well, it's my two youngest daughters, and my son is mostly in yeshiva. So we just, whenever he came for Shabbos, so we had to just put him on a mattress,
Mhm.
and yeah,
Wow.
and yes,
Wow.
but it's my two young. Most of my children are Baruch Hashem married already, each one in their place. But yeah, so it's my mother-in-law, and I have one of my daughters. My father-in-law passed away a year ago, and one of my daughters, younger daughters, that married a few months before my father-in-law passed away. So they are continuing my father-in-law's shlichus. So they're also here in this house. So we have like three
Oh, wow.
generations in this house living. It's yeah, and
Wow.
Baruch Hashem, yeah. Um,
Ha- can you share with us like how you stay so positive and thinking about the gratitude that you have instead of the hardships?
First of all, it's just worth it to just hang on the good things. And there's a lot of good things. This crazy situation, I choose to look at the good things. I'll give you an example. For years, for the Jewish club, for the Jewish Children Club that we already do for many years, so I always have to call up parents and try to convince them to sign them up to this beautiful club, etc., etc. Now, this year, I came to the hotel and I didn't have to convince anyone. Everyone sent the children. I didn't have only six. Some years I had six children, eight children. I had one year that was, wow, 15 children. Here I had 60 children. So so I didn't have to convince anyone. I had everyone near me, and I just have to come and do with them all the beautiful activities. So that's a good thing. Or when we come to visit our community, they are so emotional about it that we come and we try to encourage them. And something that I really don't want to forget to say, that since this whole situation started, we are getting so many people that call us up from all over the world. If it's Chabad or not even non-Jews, and all the Jewish nation, really, they call us up and ask us how we're doing. And a lot of people are supporting us and giving us courage to go through these not easy times. And it really, I want to say that it really, really helps. It gives us a lot of strength to go through these not easy times. And with the support that so many people are giving us, we are helping families they don't have a job. They had to leave their job. Most families don't work. They're in a hotel, and they took whatever they took from the house, and there's a lot of things that they need. So every now and then we help them, financially with gift cards. We tried before, holidays, before Hanukkah we gave, and before Purim, and before Pesach, and now we're planning before Tishrei holidays, the high holidays, to help them again with a gift card, and they really, really appreciate it. And we try to do all kinds of activities, also for the older people or for the children. And again, in the past, if we did activities, we never knew if nobody's going to come or 100 people are going to come. We never knew. And whoever came, we were very happy. Here, everyone is under one, in one place, and they're nowhere to go, nowhere to run away. So, they really appreciate everything that we do. And we're very
Amazing.
happy to give them words of encouragement. And they're always asking, what do you say? What do we do? And we try to encourage them. Uh,
What do you tell them to encourage them through such
so
difficulties?
first of all, I show them how many good things are happening, even if there's a lot of negative and hard things that we hear, soldiers that are, getting killed, and hostages that are still not all home. But we tell them, listen, we're alive. We know, we spoke to army personnel, and they told us that the enemy, the Hezbollah, was planning together with the Hamas in the south. They were planning to do the same thing in the north, and with Hashem's help, it didn't happen. So I always tell them, I remind them, could have happened, in the north too. And Matula is
Right.
surrounded at three sides with Lebanon, so it wasn't too hard. So first of all, we're alive. Second of all, we have where to be. You have food. You have a place to sleep, and everyone is okay. And there's so many miracles happening. There's missiles every day, and so many miracles. Unfortunately, sometimes and they do damage and hurt people, but most of the time it's falling exactly here and just miss this person and just miss that. There's so many miracles, and also the soldiers that come back home from the war zones, they tell us of so many miracles, so I always remind them of that. And listen, we're all together, and so many friendships are building up from people being together. And um, and the government is trying to help us as much as it can, and just looking for the good, just counting the blessings. We count the blessings together with them. and
Wow.
um, and we, as Chabad Hasidim, we tell them all the time what the Rebbe said, that Eretz Yisrael is the safest place on earth. And we see it.
Do you feel you're safe there? Do you feel that it's the safest place? How
Yeah,
do you see it?
because of the amount of miracles that are happening here. It's just amazing. Amazing. We hear
Wow.
from, even the Matula soldiers that are from Matula, they come back home every now and then, and they tell us the miracles, and it's just keep on coming. We keep on hearing them. So it's it's just, you have to hang on to them, to these things, and
Right.
these things help.
Right.
They really help. And since what happened, we see there's a lot of people that were far from Judaism became more aware that
Mhm.
we're on the hands of Hashem, and they realize that. For example, on Purim, when we read the Megillah, there were hundreds of people that participated, people that throughout the years that we were in Metula and we read the Megillah, they used to never come. And now they came,
Mhm.
and they followed every word. And people are just more open to
Well,
hear.
it's interesting because we keep hearing that from all over, even college campuses and everywhere. Why do you think it's bringing that out in them? Like, why do you think people who are going through such hardship and such suffering, and who could be saying, "God, I'm so angry with you," instead are saying, "I want to join your programs. I want to, be a part of it. I'm part of the Jewish people. I'm part of serving God. I'm part of doing mitzvot." Like, why do you think that's happening?
Well, what the enemy did in the South, the horrors that they saw, that they did to the Eden, they didn't go only to the religious Jews, or they didn't make any
Distinction.
distinction. They wanted to hurt the Israelis, the Jews, okay? And that brought up a lot of questions. What does it mean to be a Jew? And a lot of
Mhm.
people realized, I don't know anything about what it means to be a Jew. Why are they attacking us? What does it mean to be a Jew? And they started asking and finding out, what does it mean to be a Jew?
Mhm.
So that, I think, is part of starting to ask themselves, why are what are they doing
Mm.
it to us? What does it mean to be a Jew? And so on and so forth. I mean,
Right.
I think
Incredible.
that's, yeah, 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 yeah. And again, the miracles that are happening is also something that people, and they all the questions are, there's so many questions. What's going to be? When is it going to end? When are we going back home? And they realize, you ask them what's going to be, and say only Hashem knows. We don't know.
Mhm.
And the
Mhm.
realization that there is someone that is running this whole show, you know and it's something bigger than us, makes people think,
Mhm.
stop and think.
Right. Wow. Are people planning on going back, or are they just, are thinking that this is it and this is where it's going to be? I mean, it's like incredible to start a whole new year And the whole new year is still, you're still out away from your home. What are people's feelings and thoughts on that?
Okay, so I told you that everyone was in hotels. So with the time goes by and it doesn't look like we're going back. So I mean, there's
Soon.
no end seen. So slowly, people are going out of the hotels and renting out apartments wherever they find. So
Mm,
it's pretty sad, but the community is very much spreading all over Israel, from the
mm,
north, from the most northern point is Yesod Amala, Rosh Pina, Tveria, until the south, till Eilat. People are
mm,
really going all over. And unfortunately, this year, the school is not even opening because everyone's just spread out and they don't have enough
mm,
children to, like we had this year, until everyone was still in the hotel. So there were pretty much enough children to have a school. Now
mm,
there's no school. So we're every week we try to visit someone else in another place
mm,
we'll go to Tveria. With the older people are still pretty much together in a
mm.
hotel, but the younger families, so they're pretty much spreading out all over Eretz Israel, and we try to every day, every week, to go visit someone else.
Is it? Wow. I would imagine also like jobs. How do people live without jobs? Are they looking for jobs in different
They're look,
places?
yes, they're looking for
Right.
jobs. Not everyone is finding a job, but the government is giving whoever is an evacuee. The government helps monthly, so that
Mm.
really helps. And
Wow.
but it's very hard. It's very hard. There are some families that are getting stronger and closer from these trying times, but there are some families that they're having a very hard time. It's
Yeah,
stressful, and it's not easy.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
A lot of people are thinking now about the coming holidays. October 7th, Simchat Torah is coming. It's around the corner again. And some people are saying, how could we celebrate Simchat Torah after what happened, after what the situation that we're still in? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, my thoughts, and also the thoughts of a lot of people that I speak to, is the enemy wanted us. They wanted us to break down and not be happy and not celebrate and not continue with life. They did everything possible to do that, and we have to show them that they're not successful. They're not going to succeed to do that. Even if it's hard, we might dance with a Torah with tears in our eyes, but we'll dance.
Mm,
Um, it's going to be with a little bit of a broken heart, because soon we're going to reach a year that the hostages are not in their home, and we have no idea what the situation, how many hostages are still alive. There's a lot of questions and a lot of families that I don't know how, one of my neighbors, one of the hostages was Eden Zcharia. She was my neighbor, next door neighbor. And unfortunately, they found her not alive. But Baruch
mm,
Hashem, they found her, and they were able to bring her to Kever Israel to bury her in Eretz Israel. And so I was with her for a few months until she was able to bury her daughter. So it's a very hard situation, and our hearts go out for all the families of the fallen soldiers and of the hostages that are not home yet. But we have to continue living, and this is going to be the biggest victory that we will celebrate. We will go on in life. In these months, we see that more and more young couples are getting married and not pushing off. They're getting married even earlier than what they thought, because they want to show our enemies that we are continuing to live, and we are continuing to build
mm,
another house in Israel. And that's what most people feel.
mm.
That's what I hear from most people. So we will celebrate,
Right.
but
Wow.
of course with,
You will celebrate.
yeah, with everyone in mind, whoever is not home yet, and with the soldiers in mind. And the Rebbe always taught us that with simcha,
Mm.
with happiness, we could do much more and help much more and give protection to our soldiers and to our hostages too. Yeah.
Absolutely. Wow. Incredible. Thank you. That's amazing. What about your children? What do your children that are with you have any questions about their situation? How do you encourage them?
Well, first of all, we as parents give them an example that we're continuing with life. We continue with our shlichut, and we go on in life with a smile. So it does help them, go on and try to go on in life. The only thing is that my youngest, for example, is very homesick. She wants
Mm.
her corner, her bed, her things, So we tell her it's
Sure.
really understandable that you're having a hard time, but let's look at the good things that you're continuing to go to school. But what we did was we put her into a dormitory, so she should be, because the school that she learns is a little far from where we are now. When we were home, she used to travel for an hour, also not so
Mm.
close, but now it's
Mm.
2 hours away. So the school put her into
Wow.
the dormitory, and Baruch Hashem, thank God, she has a nice group of girls there, and they helped her a lot. She went through therapy a little bit to take out what
Sure.
hardship, and they're doing okay. Another good thing that because in our shlichut, we used to have a shul, a synagogue, and I had a mikveh that I was very busy with. Unfortunately, the mikveh is closed, and so I have more time. And these few months, I was able, one of the good things that we look for the good things, I was able to go visit a few of my children that live on shlichut and all over the world, in California by my son, Mandy and Ricky, and my daughter in Vietnam, and my daughter in Budapest. She's there in Shlichut. So I was able to go like this. If I was in Matula, I usually don't go out so for the holidays, etc. And I can't take off so many days because I'm busy with our shlichut. But now we were able to go here for a week and here for 2 weeks because it's different situation.
Well deserved. Wow. Well deserved. And
So
are your children in all these countries, are they fearful for your situation? Are they worried about you?
they were at first, at the beginning, because from far everything looks much worse. But we tell them, we try to describe them the what we're doing and how we are okay. So, and they saw that we're okay. So you know, it gave them,
Right.
you know,
Right.
good,
Wow. Incredible.
yeah, yes.
Um, I really thank you so much for spending the time with us. What are your final thoughts that you want to leave us with about your thoughts for the future, about what you think, where you think you're heading, or about our general situation?
Well, first of all, with this situation, I'm so aware that we're in Hashem's hands, and I'm just following, holding his hand, and just following where he's taking me. And don't really understand what's going on. And as my father, Alav Hashem, used to say, always we have to understand that we don't understand. And I always remember that. And I don't understand, but I'm with Hashem. Hashem is with me. And I really see that and feel that. And I'm just following him. And wherever he'll take me, we're there. And we'll try to do it happily and on the way to help others to have a good outlook in life, and
Right.
to help people to be okay, to feel good.
Amazing. Amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining
Thank
us and
you, and again,
for your
thank
special
you,
words.
and again, thank you for everyone that encourage us and just WhatsApp. How you doing? I'm thinking of you. It really, really warms up our hearts.
Beautiful. Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much, Brachaleah.
You're welcome.
Wow. What did you think of Brachalea's interview? When I originally asked Brachalea to come on here, I thought we would just do a very, very short update on her situation. Just a very short, what is she thinking about, for the upcoming holidays, what's going on. And then I was just pulled in. I just was honestly pulled in by her attitude, by her optimism. There are sometimes you interview these people who just have such a different perspective on life that they help you to change your own. Here she is in a very difficult situation for already 11 months. She's going away from her home, away from everything she knows, away from everything familiar with to her. Her whole life has somewhat changed, and all she can say is that I count my blessings. I look at what's positive. I look at the good that has come out of it. I look and find the blessings in it. And if that isn't a lesson on how we can all look at our own situation, our own circumstances, I don't really know what is. I thought she was just amazing. That part of how she explained it. And of course, I loved what she said about celebrating on Simchat Torah. Even with our tears, even with what's going on, we're not going to let them take away. We're not going to let those that hate us take away what's so precious to us. Um, and we're just going to keep on. And what you keep on hearing from so many of these interviews is how people have more and more Jews have keep on being strong and keep on following in the traditions, even more so now than before. They want to understand and know who they are, and what it means to be a Jew. If you're enjoying watching these interviews, I hope you are subscribed, Chabad.org/extraordinary. I really, really hope that you are checking us out as well on Spotify and Apple Music. When you're on the go, when you're on the run, this is great stuff to just listen to keep your inspiration going, to keep your faith going, to just make your day, to put a smile on your face. We love hearing from you. Please share with me, what did you think about Brachalea's interview? What did you feel about the words that she shared with us, the positivity that she exudes? I love to hear from you, and I read every single message. Thank you so much for being part of the extraordinary community.